Kart Mini.
Welcome to proof video number 14, what I've called No Absolute Penalties. A lot of times if you're reading out on the internet about how to play Mario Kart, a lot of people speak in absolutes. I think they're trying to say just to try to avoid, like hitting a wall. But a lot of times they say you can't hit a wall or you can't go off-road. They state them in absolute terms that you can't do these certain things, or the vice versa, that you have to get off to a fast start. And what I've shown in these videos is there's some truth to what they're saying, but they're not in absolutes. When I first discovered the position penalty, though, and was trying to figure it out, I was just going crazy because it just didn't seem consistent. I talked about in my position videos how I had measured out 12 different ones and made a program even to measure where I entered in the time for each position, and then I could run it total in this time or continuous time in these positions, and calculate by different factors and try to figure it out. And I just couldn't quite get the calculation figured out, so I started double checking to make sure I didn't miss any absolutes, and that's what this video is. I just decided to double check, is it really different if you sit still, or if you turn around face backwards, or what if you drive backwards? And in this video you saw in the beginning, I not only drove backwards, I drove backwards and hit a penguin. So I've increased my length of course time, or course distance. So I just decided to try to rule out whether any of these factors made a difference. So I just I stayed in 12 for quite a while. If you see there, almost a whole minute. Just to see if I could still get 3 stars and do all these things, and I ended up getting 3 stars. But this video ended up being kind of interesting in a bunch of different ways. One of them, like I said, was that I went extreme in the beginning. I blew up, and I'm actually blowing up on all 4 starts. Not only am I getting off to a slow start, but I'm actually exploding deliberately all 4 times. And this one, like I said, I went backwards. I've done just about everything you would think you shouldn't do, and showing that it's not an additional factor. The position penalty is a factor. The other things I've mentioned, the other bonuses and penalties, are a factor, but there's nothing that's absolute. You do something on the course and it's not going to make you lose. It all depends on how it measures up against the maximum time and the adjusted maximum time. And these factors, like I said, driving backwards, turning around, don't make a difference at all, other than the fact that I'm too far back and I'm getting a position penalty. So now the other interesting thing about this is where I admit that my position penalty is flawed. I think I've said it before that it's not exact. I've done my best. I think there's some type of grace period, at least in the first race. I don't know if it's in all of them, but it seems like there's a little bit of grace period where you don't get a penalty. And when you're trying to factor in what the penalty is, I've proven by doing races that the penalty is greater in 12th than it is in, say, 10th. But trying to figure that calculation out, what's that variable, and then adding another variable, whether you get a grace period, it just becomes too many variables. And even when you're comparing across a bunch of videos like I did and had a program where I could compare 12 different races and do the math and enter it in quickly and do a quick analysis, the calculation I came up with was the best at fitting most of them. This one in particular, though, was the worst. This was the most extreme, where my calculation didn't work. According to my calculation, I should have got 2 stars. I missed by about 3.5 seconds, if you saw that, on Sherbet Land, but I still made it. I think this proves that my calculation isn't perfect, and that I don't really understand the grace period. So this is also a little cup of humility that I still am a little ways off on that position penalty, no matter how hard I try. That this video here kind of haunts me, because like I said, this is where my calculation failed the worst. Because I've had other ones where I've done races in Sherbet Land were almost identical. I was just in a further back position for just a small period of time, and the race times are almost identical, and the calculation works out for those. But this one just didn't quite work out. So I'm probably 95% of the way on the calculation or something, at least 90%. I'm still missing obviously some percentage here. So anyway, that's about it. this video was just, like I said, I was just doing to test to see if there were any absolutes that I missed, and it ended up being kind of an interesting video, just because of how much I screwed around on it and still got 3 stars, and the fact that my position penalty calculation actually failed on Sugarland by over 3 seconds, which is a little disappointing, but you know, I really wanted to get the position penalty calculation down. I like doing that kind of stuff, but since it's such a minor penalty anyway, I mean, you really only incur it when you're messing around. I mean, if you get hit back and you're 12th at the beginning of the race for even for 30 seconds, it's just not that big of a penalty. You're still probably going to get 3 stars if you avoid collisions. So it's really only really matters if you're goofing around like I am here. So you know, how long and how far do you pursue it to try to find that calculation? I think I've hit my limit. Maybe somebody else now is intrigued and wants to take it over. You know, more power to you. So I gotta let it go here. I feel I got close enough. So I discovered the penalty. I got fairly close on the calculation. It's time to let it go, and if somebody else is really interested, they can go for it. So again, here you go. I'm just sitting still now. I'm doing a sitting still because I wondered about that. So not only did I get a bad start, but I actually sat stationary. And again, I can see no difference. So that's pretty much it in this video. You can watch again with Luigi Stadium. I'm going to blow up at the beginning there too and mess around a little bit more, not quite as much as I did on these first 2, because I always have a little more trouble making up ground at Luigi Stadium because of the prizes. You know, always we all have the long straight stretches where you can really blast and use a golden mushroom to its full extent and so forth. And it's also just not quite as long as races like Delfino and Sugarland, so those are kind of my 2 favorites where I like to mess around more, because I can still get the victory, still get first place even when I mess around. But if you've made it through the series, all 14 videos, I thank you and give you a lot of credit because it's been a long series, and you get rewarded with finding my admission of inferiority on the position penalty calculation. So thanks again, and I hope these helped. That was the point of this whole process, was to help people get 3 stars, because I know it's helped me a ton. I used to struggle with 3 stars, especially on mirror mode, and sometimes even 150, but now I get them even almost most of the time, definitely over 50% of the time on mirror mode, and I pretty much get them all the time on 150cc, so it really has made a difference in my game, and I hope it can help you with your game. Thanks again for watching.
Oh, yeah!